So in this Thursday, somewhat Theorycraft-esque video, it's more asking the question, what do you expect the stories and like the somewhat new backgrounds to be of like the Zaun champions? Because for those that don't know, the final part of the Piltover's half of the Piltover and Zaun event kind of dropped yesterday. They did the short stories and some new bios for several of the champions. It was Caitlyn, Vi, Jace, Orianna, and Ezreal. Except Ezreal's short story kind of dropped a little bit ago, but still a bio for all those people. They're kind of, some of them are actually kind of the same, just fleshed out more, and then some of them are a little different. I saw mostly positive feedback, but one of the negative feedbacks I saw was Viktor as portrayed in Jace's story, in which case it wasn't that Viktor was completely changed. It was more so they felt that his dimensions, what made him as a character, kind of seemed to be gone, and he seemed kind of to be back to the stereotypical like Saturday morning cartoon villain. There's a thread about Reddit complaining about this on the front page. But my point about this question, or the question I'm forming, is so then, A, this is a story from Jace's point of view. All these stories are going to make these champions being talked about look the best. So obviously Viktor's not going to look fantastic in Jace's story. But some people's concerns are there are a few points in the story that are kind of indisputable, even if it was from Viktor's point of view. As such, he's now from Piltover. He got expelled from like a Piltover academy versus his old lore, which was he was from Zaun originally. So things like that. Because for those that don't know, like the old Viktor lore, the reason why people say he's not dimensional anymore is it kind of worked something like this. He pretty much made or had research about some fantastic things. He was responsible for the sentience of Blitzcrank, the first like steam engine golem robot. His research was responsible for helping bring Urgot like back to life, or like keep him alive. It kind of turned him into what he is now, Urgot, that's saying, but that was the only way to keep him alive. But it was Viktor and his like science and mind that came up with these things, and those ideas and the credit pretty much was stolen from him. And when he tried to get justice for him, tried to appeal like to the Academy of Zaun, I believe, about, you know, hey, this is actually my work, this person stole it, plagiarized, etc., etc., his pleas fell on deaf ears, and as such he then sunk into a depression, and then eventually in that depression found a way to make something that could not be stolen from him, which was to augment himself, and that's why he is a cyborg to this day. Then that also kind of spawned the glorious evolution idea that he had in kind of a different light, which is the whole like Battlecast army, man into machine kind of ideal. So it's not to say that Viktor was perfect before, like it's not that you can't see him in a bad light, but it was that he had depth that you could kind of sympathize with that's kind of gone, some people feel now. But again, I think Viktor's story actually has to come out first before we can really judge that, because the story was told from Jace's point of view. It's going to make Jace look fantastic because it's Jace's story. When Viktor's come out, it might be reversed, it might make Jace look terrible. And yeah, granted, they say there are some kind of indisputable things, even if it was from Viktor's point of view. I still think it has to come out first to kind of explain it from Viktor's standpoint. But if it's not, and that is the direction they're taking it, what do you think about the rest of the Zaun champions? Because initially there was a stigma about, you know, Piltover being the good guys and Zaun being the bad guys. And we know, you know, over time, that's not really the case. There are some bad people from Piltover, just like there are some good people from Zaun. And even though I don't expect, and no one expects, like Mundo, Jinx, and all these people to get their stories, where they're like the hero of like, you know, their city or something like that, we do expect kind of, I guess, more depth to them to understand maybe the more why. Like there's reasons why these characters are liked, let's put it that way. They have their moral flaws, let's put it that way as well. But there's reasons why these characters were liked regardless. So the question is then, what do you expect to come out of these stories? Based on the fact that we have their old lores, but it's a new Zaun. Based off of what we know about new Zaun, new Piltover, etc., etc., what do you think about what possibly could happen with these characters? So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, especially comment so then we can have a discussion about this. There's really no wrong answers and I don't really judge. But that's all for this video. So thank you for watching if you did watch this far. I don't know which video will be next because life is full of a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed.